Okay, a couple particular notes. Ready? Should go a little smoother for you today than yesterday. Hopefully you got a little bit of practice in. We will look at those homework answers in a moment. Has anybody hurt themselves with the compass? One. Somebody sneezed in period 5 yesterday. It was almost tragic, but it didn't happen. Number 14 must be done on a separate sheet of paper because you are actually going to hand it in to me, and it will count. Okay, so I know like the other parts, you can still submit them to Schoology. You could submit the second part of practice 1.6. Number 14 clearly tells you what to do. It's got to be done on a separate sheet of paper. I'll highlight that at the actual very end. Okay, cool. Now, I want to go over some things. I can already tell. I haven't looked at your work yet for the most part. I looked at a couple. Some of you will already have some things to fix. Guess what? You should probably fix them. And if you're missing something, it might not necessarily be because you messed up. You might have just thought that once you drew it, you were done, but there's a little bit more of the story. Okay, so drawing the protractor angles of 25 and 150. Oh, why is it doing this? It's this thing again. I'm sure drawing the angles was actually pretty good. I'm just going to do this thing again. So, all right. Some things you might be missing. If you're missing arrows on the end, you need to put them in right now. Okay, angles are consisting of 2 different rays, not 2 lines, not 2 line segments. They consist of 2 different rays. Okay. I wonder what this is. Interesting. Okay. Overall, though, the 150 and the 25, they should have been okay. But if you're missing the arrows on the end, that's obviously an issue. Number 2, you're asked to construct a segment congruent to AB. That's also called copying a segment. As a first step, you draw a ray. Which of the following, if true of the width ray, would be the most helpful? Well, obviously, A would be out. C wouldn't be helpful. D wouldn't be helpful at all. B would be your best bet. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Okay? So the first was to copy segments. To copy AB. Couple things. You are not allowed to just extend the line. You can't just take this line and extend it. That's point Y. You can't have A and Y as a shared point. That's not a thing. It's one point. So you had to copy the segment, okay, and then you needed to see the construction mark right here, which I'm sure a lot of you have. Copy this segment, you needed to see the construction mark. Now, here's something you might be missing, and I see some of you put it in. You need to put congruent marks. So if you didn't do it last night, put it in now. This congruent to that. This congruent to that. Now again, if you didn't do that, that's okay. We didn't really talk very much about that. That's what we're fixing. But overall, the copying of the segment hopefully went okay. Hopefully for the most part. Remember, you are not allowed to say I measured it with my ruler. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Usually the straight edge is unmarked. Okay, this was copying an angle. Okay, so a little reminder of what we were going to do. Okay, we draw in any arc that intersects A, and then we draw in the same arc from B, and then we open the compass up so that it measures this right here, okay, then we bring it over here, and then we draw, and this intersection point is what we want, okay? I would consider labeling these intersection points when you draw it in. You don't have to, like I didn't in this answer key. Once I drew this arc in, if you want to label this like C and D, that's fine, but it's not necessarily required. Okay, and this is the same kind of thing. But do you have the construction marks? Do you have congruent angle measures in there? And do you have arrows on the end? If that's all you're missing, you're in a good spot. The trickiest one for a lot of people was probably the double angle. Okay, this is where I saw a couple of you not sure yesterday. So I'll actually put the compass out there for you while I try to figure out why the board is doing what it's doing. So a reminder of what we want to do here. If we start with angle D, I drew in this. It's close, it's not exactly the same thing. I don't know why I hear anybody talking. Okay, I draw the same one over here. I bring this guy over. This was the step I think some of you had a hard time with. It's harder for me up here. The digital compass is nice because I I don't have to hold it down, but it's definitely harder for me to rotate. Then I measure this with my intersection, okay? And then I do it from over here, okay? But what some of you, I think, weren't entirely sure about was how do I double the angle? I just keep the same setting, put it over here, and then there's my double. Mine's a little off because I didn't measure it the exact same way. But if you weren't sure how to go if you weren't sure how to go double angle, all you need to do is copy the angle regularly and then keep the setting, put the point here, then trace from there, then you're good. Question? I don't care. I don't care about the actual measurement there. Okay, it's easier for you to do there. Okay, and I don't know if anybody noticed, number 8 was like on there twice. You did not have to do it twice unless you felt like doing the practice that goes with it. Okay, so hopefully a little bit better. Today's actually aren't as bad. They look more complicated, but they go a little bit better than what you usually anticipate. Okay, but first I want you to try this question. This is not a construction question. Anywhere in your notes. This is not a construction question. This is just a general angle question. You're welcome to draw a diagram if you'd like, okay, but it's not a construction question at all, so you don't need the compass. But don't worry, we'll get to the compasses very soon. I am going to draw this. WR bisects AWB. Somebody want to remind us? That's not bad. So AWB. What does bisect mean? What does bisect mean? Nobody knows. We're in trouble. What? Huh? Or you have to be a little bit more specific. You can't say split in half. We're talking geometry here. To divide it into, not equal, we're not going to use equal. Two congruent angles or two congruent segments. This is not a segment bisector. This is clearly an angle bisector. So you draw in your angle bisector. That's WR. And it says that this angle is congruent to that. Okay? Let's see. AWR is x. So I'm going to put that here. And BWR is equal to 4x minus 48. So what would you like to do with these? Set them equal. Solve for x, which is 16. And then you can find each angle, which is 32. Okay? Please don't forget what these things mean. Now, what we're actually going to do today is we're actually going to construct an angle bisector. So it's helpful to remember what it is. An angle bisector is a ray that comes out and divides it into two congruent. Actually did a pretty good job with that. Round of applause for me. That's a decent drawing. Freehand. Thank you. Yes. Good. Your applause is noted. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to give you the same option as yesterday. You want to go team try it on my own, or you want some guidance at the beginning? Try it on my own. You want team try it on my own? All right. I'm down for it. Here's what you're going to do. But let me just wait really quick before. Let me tell you what you're going to do. Because we're not practicing with the compass. You're diving right in. Okay, you're going to construct a perpendicular bisector. Reminder of what that does. It's going to be a line segment or line or ray that comes down at a right angle and bisects into two congruent segments. Okay, so start with line segment AB. Construct XY, which is a line, such that XY is perpendicular to AB at the midpoint M of AB. It sounds complicated. Just start with the steps. Let's just see how you do. Go ahead. They tell you exactly what to do. Moxley, how's that straight edge working out? Great. Good job. What's the first thing you should have drawn on your page? Nope. Line segment, what? Nope. No one knows, I tell you. Given line segment AB. That's the first thing you should draw. You know what it means to be given something? Really, in life, no one's ever said given. You start with this. You start with it, line segment AB. Okay? Which they have right here. Okay? So you're either welcome to keep it, or you can redraw it on your own if you need to. Okay? Line segment AB is what you're starting with. You can't start with XY. You have to create XY. Put the compass on point A. I'll use theirs first, then I'll do mine. You'll notice, does it tell you how far you need to go? It just gives you a general sense. So what's the first step? Put it on point A, open the compass where? What does it say? Greater than half. You can definitely understand half. You have an innate understanding of half. Any amount, drawing an arc. You'll notice though, they're very specific. Where are you supposed to draw the arc in? It says above and also where? Below. So that's on theirs. If I'm going to do it on another one, I'm just trying to give you two examples. I go past half, and then I draw. That's definitely more than half. Okay? So step one is done. What's step two say to do? Keep the compass setting. Anybody know? Keep the compass setting. And then draw it from B. Oh, what little shape do you have going on here? Oh, wait a minute. There's step two. This is X. This is Y. And then what's it telling me to do? Oh. Oh my gosh. Actually, this is easier than yesterday. You know why it's easier? You don't have to really move the compass from one spot to another. You just slide it across. Okay, but I have to put some details in. Because this is a perpendicular bisector, I need to put in a midpoint. I'll call it C. I need to put in boom, boom. And because it's perpendicular bisector, what do we need? Nobody knows. Right angle. Bada bing. Okay, so let's take it all from the top, because actually this one's really not too bad. Okay, actually people have told me they like this one like a little bit more. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, I'll get this guy out of here. Okay, you're going to take your compass point. You're going to put it on A, and you're going to open it up so that it's more than half. Okay, so as long as it's anywhere more than half, you're good. Okay, it looks to me like, I don't know. You think that's more than half? I should hope so. Okay, so I'm going to draw an arc, but you have to draw above and below. You keep the compass setting. So I have to keep this compass setting. I'm going to put the point over here on B. Okay, luckily I can just flip it. I'm going to draw that same arc above and below. And then I should notice there's two intersection points. Okay, it doesn't matter which one I call X and which one I call Y. It really doesn't matter. And then it's asking me to draw in a line. So line XY that goes through them. And that's my perpendicular bisector. But we just worked on this on the homework a little bit. If I draw in this perpendicular bisector, I need to indicate that those are congruent to each other. And I need to indicate that's a right angle. Okay? It's actually not too bad. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is somewhere, I want you to draw your own line segment, ST, and see if you can recreate those steps. Your own line segment. Could be flat on the ground. Okay, it could be a little bit tilted like the one that they gave you.
Wait, does it have to be vertical because it says vertical on the base? It says draw vertical ST.
Vertical ST, yeah. Yours is vertical. So there's my vertical ST. Yeah, mine says that there, and then just vertical ST.
What if I just
How can you help yourself out? Don't go like right at the halfway point. Make a nice big arc. Are we getting better at drawing the arcs a little bit? Is anybody getting worse at drawing the arcs? That's good. That's a sign. We'll take it. So I draw ST. ST is a line segment. How do I know? They told me. Okay? And then I'm going to put this guy right here. And I need to open it up so it's more than halfway. You tell me when I'm like roughly more than, oh, I hate this thing. Roughly more than halfway. Yeah, sure. You can't, I mean, you could go all the way to here, but you want to go over half, but not so close to half that it's like tight. So now I'm going to draw this. Okay, I went a little bit over. And I want to go far enough where I can get above and below. And then I'm going to flip this thing. I'm going to come down here. Okay, I'm going to continue to draw that arc above and below. I should have 2 intersection points. You do have to label the intersection points. It doesn't actually say what to label my perpendicular bisector, so I don't know. I'll do AB. Notice, it also doesn't say that the perpendicular bisector has to be a line. When I gave you the definition yesterday, we said it could be what? It could be a line, it could be a ray, it also could be segment. So you actually can pick. I'm actually just going to draw a segment in because I can. Okay, that's my option. I go here. Very funky little drawing, but that's okay. It's totally allowed. What am I missing right now? Okay, but let's get the correct congruence in. Tell me where I'm putting my congruent marks. Am I putting them here? No. Even though these really look similar, they look the same. That's not the case. This bisected that. So what do I have? This guy? It's congruent to that guy. And what else do I need to put in here? As long as you put in one right angle, you're good. If you want to put in them all, that's fine. Okay, but you got to at least put in one. How's that one? I've been told that one's actually better than the copying an angle. I think copying an angle is a bigger pain in the butt. That's my personal opinion. Looks good? Not good? Questions? Okay, got one more. I'll let you try this one on your own too. It's actually our last one. You can get better at it, absolutely. Do you understand what I told you in the homework that you can't just extend that line? It can't be a shared point, okay? And you weren't the only one that did that, you were like the first that's all. I know, it just did that, you just can't do that. That people try that. So, do they tell me how big of an arc to draw at the beginning? Nope. Dealer's choice, okay? So put the compass on vertex A, draw an arc, I did that, label, missing an L, the points of intersection B and C. I'm not sure if you figured this out yet. The points of intersection, they're really there just to help you. B and C are just points, but they're really there to measure the angle. Okay, so you could not label them, but it's really a gamble. Okay, that point's done. Step 2, put the compass on point C, because again, it could be either one, and then draw an arc. Guess I'll change colors. Okay, so I'll mix it up just a little bit. I'll go here. With the same compass setting, draw an arc using point B. Oh, probably figured out by now. What are we really looking for in all of these? Some kind of intersection point? Yeah, you see it? You sure that the arcs intersect? They actually do, right here. I'm going to label that point X for some reason, because they want AX. And then, yes, using a straight edge, don't do all the hard work and then goof on the straight edge because you're lazy. Draw in ray AX. That is beautiful right there. My angles are bisected. What's the only marking I need now? I need this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. It is magical. Is that what you said?
You said it looks like magic art or like Clash Royale.
I heard it looks magical. So okay. I want you to try one more. Obtuse angle XYZ. I drew a 120-degree angle. You don't have to do 120, but I need you to create an obtuse angle and try to draw the angle bisector. Yeah, I mean. But that's the gamble if you send one hand.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta really hand
I forgot my finger was right now.
that thing
I was standing through and I forgot my finger was right now. And I didn't get little of I couldn't see the dirt. Oh my god.
Pardon the interruption. Zahara Rogers, please report to the office. Zahara Rogers, please report to the
Aaron
office.
Rodgers. Oh, that's not an obtuse angle. Oh, you work on this one. Okay. Yeah, it's got to be an obtuse angle to start. Double angle is with, yeah, double angle is good once you get the measurement between them. Bisecting makes more sense to a lot of people because our brains actually understand when it's halfway.
I don't know what years old.
Okay, I'm going to show mine. Okay, and then I'll tell you how the rest of it works. I think in general you're getting better. You know why the bisecting ones tend to look a little bit better? Your brains just naturally can cut things in half, like whether it's a number or an angle or a picture. So when I draw this in, most of you can like look at it and kind of tell. Now, if you really want to know how accurate you are, how could you check these things? Protract. Okay? Now that's a personal choice, but if you're like 3 degrees off, you're like, whatever, it's close. Like, that's not close enough. So I chose 120 on purpose, and so I could measure the 60s, okay? Construct XYZ, so I did that, it's obtuse. Construct its angle bisector YP. What was the first step? Put the compass on the vertex. So no matter what angle you drew, I'm going to put the point on the vertex and do what, everybody? No one can tell me? Draw an arc. Okay? So I'm going to draw an arc. Doesn't really matter which one. I guess I'm going to draw this one. Okay? And then we're good. I really think you should label the points. I know it's like not fun to write down like 2 letters because it's so much work. But I think it's a really good idea just to keep things straight. So I did that. We're going to put the compass on one of the points. So I'm going to call that, I'm going to call this A and B. Okay, I'm going to put the compass, let's change colors, on one of the points. And then I'm going to draw an arc. I'm going to draw a little bit bigger. Okay, that's from point A. I'm going to keep the same compass setting, put it on point B. I should be very excited that I see where they connect. Do you see where they intersect? I do. I'm going to go right here. Then I'm going to bust out the straight edge because you cannot do this last step without the straight edge. And then I'm going to draw in right there. I feel very good about that, just eyeballing it if I can measure with my protractor if I wanted to. Okay? Now, everywhere you look, there will be teachers, and you're lucky you're not going to have that many geometry teachers. They might not love you drawing in the full circles. A lot of them really only want you drawing in those little arcs. I don't mind if you draw in closer to the full circle, just don't get lost in your own work. The other thing you could do is you could draw in like this whole arc, you could just erase the parts that you don't need. Okay? But if you are not coordinated enough with the protractor or the compass to only draw in a little construction mark, you can do that. Just don't get lost in your own work. How does the angle bisector one look? Not bad? Decent? Okay? You can't consult those steps on an exam, but like you can use them anytime you practice. Okay? So a few things. This is what I mean about number 14. It needs to be done on a separate sheet of paper because yes, you will cut it out, color it, and turn it in, and there will be worthwhile prizes for the good ones. You're gonna have time to start it now. Okay? But wait, there's more. There's also an extra credit assignment, and I would do the extra credit. I'm not giving you like a sticker. I will give you legitimate points that you might want if you fully complete the extra credit. Let me show it to you. Now, I don't have any paper copies of the directions, but you don't need them. Okay, there's actually a way to create the Steeler symbol using your compass. So if you go into Schoology, the compass extra credit, if you follow those directions, and I mean you follow them like to a T, to the letter. And if you create this beautiful Steeler symbol, and if you give it to me by 9/17, that's a week away. That's when your next test is. It's due on the day of your test. Okay, I'll check it, okay, because it can't just be any Steeler symbol. I know how to check it. It'll be worthwhile. I'm talking about it'll help you out with like a couple assessment points. So it's not required, but if you are looking for something that you need in the bank for a rainy day, for when you have a bad exam, you should consider doing this. Okay, you're not going to get any class time to do it. You have a full week. The directions are in Schoology, totally optional. Okay, but I figured I would put it out there for you. Okay, if you're going to do it, it needs to be handed in to me by that day. The second the test day rolls around next Wednesday, it's closed. It can't be done. Okay, but it's real extra credit. It's not a sticker. Okay, I know sometimes I tell you get a prize and it's like a sticker. Thank you.
How many points is
I don't like to reveal that. It's worthwhile though. That's all I can say. Okay? So, rest of the time, you're free to get going on the homework. You do have number 14 you need to complete. If you want to start with 14, you can, but I wouldn't. Okay, you have the extra credits to be thinking about as well.